All right, so at this point we've played with arrays. We understand why we want to use array lists. An array is faster, more efficient than array list, but you're stuck. If you make an array of size 10, then that's it. An array list, on the other hand, with generics is just like an array, except that it's slower and it's of any type size you want. And generally, we don't really care the fact that it's slower. We appreciate the fact that we can make it as big as we want. So if we have a file, we can just fill it up with what's in the file without having to worry about the size of the array beforehand. So let's go through one more concept. So let's suppose right here, I create an array list, add it with numbers 0 through 9, then I want to print it. No problem. That works pretty well. But one of the things I find with array lists is it makes me, the person, faster. So this traditional for loop is so slow to make. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say for each element in my array list called al, print out. So do system out print line element. Ta-da! So this is called a for each loop. You can use for each loops with an array list, with an array, any type of collection. So instead of having to go through here, I just say, so okay, let's go through the traditional for loop. Say for int I equals 0, I is less than al.size or array.length, I plus plus, you get it, and then you do something with it. I can just skip all of that and say, okay, Java, for every single element, every single item, whatever you want to call it, doesn't have to be called element, it doesn't really matter, as long as it's a variable name, but it makes sense to call it element. For every single element in my array list, one at a time, put it in element, do the loop body, and then when you come back, put the next one in here. So I've got a 0 through 9 because of this for loop. So I'm going to say, okay, give me the first element. It's a 0, print it out. 1, print it out. 2, print it out. It's really easy to type. Less typing means less work. You get home faster. It's a good thing. So run that. It works the same way. Pretty cool. So let's go through this. An array list makes my life faster. I don't have to worry about runtime exceptions of how big my array is. I can add as much as I want. I can make that 100. It doesn't really matter. So it'll be 0 through 99. For my for each loop, I simply say, okay, give me the data type. It's an int. Okay, we talked about wrapper class before, so we understand why that has to be integer, and this is an int. And we can say, okay, cool, int, variable name, colon, and my array list. You can also use for each loop with with an array. So system out print line, or whatever I want to do with my element, and run. And there's 0 through 99.